What kind of
I'd like to call this meeting of the Warren County School Board to order, please. The first item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance and the moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first order of business tonight is the election of chairman for the Warren County School Board. I will be taking nominations from the floor. There is not necessarily a need to second the nomination, but seconds will be accepted as well. Are there any nominations from the floor for chairman of the Warren County School Board?
Madam Chairman, I would move that in order to provide continuity and the leadership and engagement that Mrs. Bauer has shown, I would like to nominate Mrs. Catherine Bauer as chairman for the coming year.
Catherine Bauer has been nominated as for chairman of the Warren County School Board. Are there any other nominations? Therefore, I will declare the nominations closed. All those in favor of Catherine Bauer as chair, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Madam Chairman. You all can come up here now. Madam Chairman, the next order of business is to elect the vice chair of the school board.
Are there any nominations for vice chair?
Madam Chairman, I would move that Roy Boyles serve as vice chairman of the board for the coming year.
Okay. Any other nominations? The nominations closed. All those in favor for Roy Boyle serving as vice chair, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Congratulations, Mr. Boyles. Thank you for serving, and I will try to do my best to serve again also. Next item on the agenda is appointments. Clerk of Warren County School Board.
Madam Chairman, I would like to recommend that clerk for the Warren County School Board remain the same, and that would be Rob Valentine.
Do we need a motion?
You do.
I would make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Valentine, for serving again.
Okay.
Deputy Clerk.
Also, my recommendation for deputy clerk would be for that person to remain the same too, and that is Annette Bass.
Okay.
I move that Annette Bass be considered for deputy clerk.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Annette Bass is our deputy clerk. Mountain Vista Governor School Board.
Madam Chairman, although Mrs. Sharefko is not able to be here tonight, she's not feeling well. I did talk with her today, and she is willing to serve as the Mountain Vista Governor School Board representative from the Warren County School Board, if you so desire.
I think we would have a fight if we tried to take that away from her.
Maybe.
Is there a motion?
I move that Joanne Sharefko be appointed to the Mountain Vista Governor School Board.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Building Committee representatives.
Currently, your building committee representatives are Madam Chairman Kathy Bauer and Doug Rosen. I would recommend that they stay the same, but that's certainly, if you all are willing to do that.
I'm willing to continue serving.
I'm willing to continue to serve as well.
Okay.
I would make that motion, Madam Chairman.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. And appointment of designee to attend meetings of the school board in the absence of the division superintendent.
You do have a cover sheet for that particular item in your packet. And basically, school board policy, BCA, school board organizational meeting requires the school board to appoint on an annual basis a designee of the division superintendent to attend the meetings of the school board in the absence or inability of the superintendent to attend. Inability is a nice word, isn't it? It's recommended that Greg Drescher, Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, be appointed as the primary designee, and Melody Shepard, Assistant Superintendent for Administration, be appointed as the alternate designee.
Madam Chairman, I would move that L. Gregory Drescher be appointed as the primary designee and Melody A. Shepard as the alternate designee of the division superintendent to attend meetings of the school board in the absence or inability of the superintendent to attend for the period of January 1st, 2015 to December 31st, 2015.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you both for serving. Next item on the agenda is to accept or modify the agenda. Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the agenda as presented, Madam Chairman.
I'll second.
All those in favor, aye.
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 Motion carries. Community participation, is there anyone who would like to address the board? Don't see anyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
I'm sorry. Kim? Thank you.
As you know, I'm Kim Oakland. I'm the president of the Warren County Education Association, and I feel a little bit like I'm preaching to the choir tonight because I know you all realize how important it is that we do something about teacher pay and teacher retention. I received from VEA a document that has the salary scales for every single school system in the state. And I just got that today, and I just glanced at some of our surrounding counties. I'm going to be doing some more in-depth study of that, and also I'm getting some information on the particular location's ability to pay, or what is considered their ability, their financial ability to pay. But in looking at our beginning salary, hey, we're right up there. In fact, our beginning salary is just a little bit higher than Winchester City, Shenandoah, Frederick, and quite a bit higher than Clark. That's wonderful. Unfortunately, that's where it stops. A teacher with 5 years of experience in Warren County makes $41,430. In Winchester City, that's $42,000. Frederick, it's $42,000. Now Clark, they're actually a little bit less, a teacher with 5 years of experience. Shenandoah, the same, $40,797. At 10 years of experience, Winchester City jumps up to $46,792. compared to our $42,339. In fact, Shenandoah, who at this point had been lower than we are, a teacher with 10 years of experience, has a higher salary. Same with Clark. At 15 years of experience, Winchester City, Shenandoah, Frederick, and Clark all have higher salaries than ours. $45,526 is ours. Frederick is $48,000 and some odd dollars. Same with Clark. Shenandoah is right about the same. Winchester City is $49,795. I can't read my own writing. Then we get to 20 years of experience. Now we have Warren at $47,780. Winchester City, who instructionally, and I haven't verified this, but a former assistant principal shared this with me and said that as far as number of students and things like that, they're very similar to us. I haven't verified that, so don't necessarily quote me on that, but they are at $52,000, where we're at $47,000. 25 years of experience, Again, everyone is higher than Warren. 51,464. Frederick, Winchester City, and Clark are all more than $2,000, more than $3,000. 30 years of experience, again, we can't compete. The message that we're sending is we don't value experience. I know in my heart that that's not true. I know that we do value experience and we want to retain the brightest and the best. But unfortunately, that's not what our money is saying. So we need to really look at how we pay our teachers and how we can retain the brightest and the best. If we can't do something overall with salaries, then I think we need to look at how we're spreading that money out. It doesn't do any good to get new teachers in and do all this wonderful professional development and train them to go off to work somewhere else. The other counties don't have to have a higher beginning salary because they get experienced teachers from us. So again, as I said, I was preaching to the choir. I sort of know that, but I felt like you needed to hear those numbers, and certainly for my members, I needed to say them. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Recognitions. Tonight we would like to recognize former school board member Kimberly M. Athey, or now known as the Honorable Kimberly M. Athey. Kim first served on the Warren County School Board representing the Fork District from January 1st, 2000 until January the 11th, 2007. She served as chairman during that time from 2004 and 2005, and then she moved into the Shenandoah District. She was then elected to represent the Shenandoah District and served from May the 8th, 2008 until September the 19th, 2014, and served as vice chair in 2013 and 2014. Kim is a lifelong resident of Warren County and attended Warren County Public Schools and graduated from Warren County High School in 1980. Her Wildcat spirit is still very strong. I have enjoyed working with Kim and have especially valued her legal knowledge and her vision for our school system. In our time together, I have recognized 3 passions that have contributed to Kim's outstanding service to Warren County School Board. Kim is passionate about her family, her community, and education. I believe it was her strong values in each of these 3 areas that made Kim such a productive and valuable member. Thank you, Kim. Pam, I believe, would like to say something.
I do. Actually, I'd like to congratulate Kim as well for her new endeavor, the Honorable Kimberly M. Athey. And I've worked with Kim as a school board member. Actually, she's one of those school board members that's responsible for me sitting here. It was never my intention to apply for this job. And on a Saturday work session for budget, Kim and Tim Darr walked me out to the parking lot and told me they thought I should apply for the job, and I guess the rest is history. But Kim, on behalf of the Warren County School Board and all of us, we have a couple of little mementos for you I'd like to present. You have to come up. Got to stand up again. First of all, you earned the Award of Achievement from VSBA and so I want to make sure you got that. I understand that you also were interested in having your name tags, so Rob had your name tags. At first we were a little less formal, and then when you came back, we made sure you had the whole name. But this gift is from the Warren County School Board. And it's a small token of all of our appreciation. You probably have more plaques than you know what to do with, and places that you don't need. place to go, can't find a photo. So we thought you might enjoy a little charm bracelet, and since you are a Wildcat fan, it has the Wildcat Paw with the WC in it. And also, you know, we hope you wear it proudly, but it's something that I believe you might, in the long run, pass to your daughter at some point in time. And, you know, we wish you the best in your new endeavors, and we will miss you on the school board. And I'd like to have a hug.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Not that I didn't grow to love the Hawks, but once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat.
That's right.
Thank you all.
Thank
very
you,
much.
thank you, Kim. And thank Kara, too, for attending many meetings and
Yeah.
That
her
was the
her
first-
patience.
Her comment was at my last appearance. Thank you all.
Thank you. Be warm out there.
Yeah. Be careful going home.
The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Madam Chairman, I move that the consent agenda be accepted as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Reports, staff report.
There are no staff reports tonight, but I do believe Mr. Drescher sent you some information via email about the report that was given at the last meeting. I thought that was interesting information, but as he noted in his email, he did not have a report tonight. We didn't make him do one over the break.
Okay, thank you. Superintendent report?
I don't have much tonight. The only thing, one of the things I will comment on is, you know, the weather. As if anybody needs to have any more comments on that. We do look at things very closely when we decide to cancel schools. Ultimately, it's my decision, but we have multiple individuals in the transportation department that are out in the middle of the night. They usually start around 3 or so and start riding roads, and they go all over the county. They also talk to other transportation departments in other locations. They talk to the state police, they talk to VDOT, they talk to deputies and a number of individuals to determine whether or not it's safe to go to school. I know that we always have individuals that call us and are not happy with the decision, whatever it was, but we are going to continue to make the best decision that we know how to make, and it may not make everyone happy, but I think we are doing this, we do this to keep children safe. We would not have gone 2 hours late these days had we not thought it was certainly safe to do so. I know that there are a number of individuals and families in Warren County right now that may have some difficulty getting out of their driveways and that kind of thing, but as far as where the buses go, it was fine to go there. All of our buses have chains, so those were used. Also, I do know yesterday morning that we had mechanics and other transportation people at certain bus stops. We ended up actually shoveling or plowing a couple of bus stops to make sure that that our buses could turn around and to use those. So we had people on site as the buses were picking up children to make sure that everything was okay. We did not have any issues with our buses getting into school either one of those days. And but I think that the 2-hour delay certainly did not have anything to do with anything melting, but at least it was daylight when we picked up children and everything was easier to see. We also are going 2-hour delay tomorrow. And the only other thing I have is on January 13th, which is next week, next Tuesday, the Project Lead the Way Engineering Showcase will be at Skyline High School, weather permitting. The snow date or weather date is January 21st. Many of you have been to these before. The project displays for public review are at 6:30 and formal presentations at 7. I do know of one very interesting project that is will be presented Mr. Drescher asked me, he told me the other day he had something really good to tell me, but it was going to probably make me nervous. And he said, which do you want to hear first, the good stuff or the nervous stuff? So he told me the nervous part. But one of the projects actually was students that have developed a lighter weight bulletproof vest. So, but it had to be tested. That was the nervous part. And there's an organization or a group in Winchester that is going to test that for us. And they will do all the testing of it, and our students will be, the students that made it will be over there to observe the testing. So I didn't feel as nervous after he told me that. But I hope you'll be able to attend. There also will be light refreshments served. So 6:30 at Skyline High School. It's always an exciting time to go. That's all I have tonight, unless anyone has questions.
Thank you. School board reports. Mr. Rosen? No report?
We'll later talk about the building committee. We had a very fruitful meeting the other day.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Mr. Boyles?
I would just like to take the opportunity to thank Mr. Drescher for an update on the Google Classroom presentation. It's always nice to have those presentations made to the board, and it made us aware of the different things that are going on, but then to continue to update us as to how those things are progressing. I really appreciate that. And just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Athey for her advocacy in public education, and I've enjoyed all the years that I was able to work with her on this board. We've made a wonderful team, and I've been able to accomplish a lot of different things, and a lot of that was based on the effort that she made as a board member.
Thank you. Mr. Wells?
Just to echo, I guess, Ms. McGinnis, and special thanks this week in particular to the Transportation Department, to all the drivers and the folks that we may or may not see and the parents may or may not see that are keeping their students safe on the way to school and home from school, and the decisions that are being made and made in the best interest of students. And also, I've served with Judge Athey for quite some time, and was able to attend her investiture ceremony, and you could just see the excitement in her about that position, and her excitement about doing more for students. She's always been a passionate advocate for students, and when we've had to make some tough decisions, she tried to present what was in the best interest of the students as the bottom line. And I think based on the comments from some of her upcoming colleagues, the other judges and that kind of thing, they're quite excited to have her as part of their team. So best of luck to her. And that's it.
Okay, thank you. The only thing I have to report is that I have been attending some basketball games and wrestling matches, and I'm looking forward to the upcoming 28th Conference wrestling match. Any of y'all go to the wrestling matches? I had never done it until a couple of years ago, and it's quite interesting. So I encourage you to maybe take one in. It's a local match. We have some good wrestlers. I attended and I didn't bring with me to remember the induction of the 2014, help me out, Buck.
Sweeney
Shiflett
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame, yes, and that was quite an interesting evening, enjoyed that. And we had a building committee meeting yesterday, which I attended, and we were going to be talking a little bit more about the middle school design here shortly. Action agenda. Presentations by staff. Approval of 2015-2016 program of studies. Mr. Drescher.
Good evening. At our December meeting, you had the first reading of the program of studies, and I'll remind everyone that annually the Warren County Public Schools updates and then produces a program of studies that outlines all course offerings for grades 6 through 12. The program of studies also outlines numerous instruction programs and guidelines that affect students. We have limited new courses this year. We have a change in that we're also using AP Studio Art as a course that can follow photography. As you know, just a little plug for AP courses. Since 2008, and before, but since 2008, we've made a real concerted effort to give more opportunities for AP to our students. Just did a quick little cipher a couple of days ago again, and on the 2014 year, we had over 400 AP tests, and that's an increase of 280% since 2008. So kudos to our schools and to our students willing to take those challenging courses. So trying to keep those added as we can do that. The only other course that we're adding this coming year is biomedical innovation. As we talked about the engineering for Project Lead the Way, the biomedical we've also added, and this is the 4th course in that series. And this class that is in their 3rd year this year will be the first class to take the 4th course. That makes sense.
So they'll be the first completers, right?
First completers. So we're looking forward to that. So those are the only changes, significant changes to the program of studies for the upcoming year. And I'll be happy to answer any questions or clarify anything.
Just looking at where it says cost and financing, limited cost for copying, just since we're on TV, where can a parent get a copy?
The program of studies is on our school websites and our county websites. If they do not have access to those, then they can get a copy at their schools.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
And we're happy to give copies here as well, the school board office.
Any other questions for Mr. Drescher? Is there a motion?
I move that the program of studies for the 2015-16 school year be approved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Drescher. Approval of new middle school design, Mrs. Shepherd.
Good evening. At the January 7th Building Committee meeting, the members of the committee recommended including a second alternate that includes a platform stage to the new middle school bid documents. The platform stage will be located in the commons area and will allow up to 350 seats. The cost to design the platform stage is $92,500, which requires revision to the existing architectural, landscape, civil, structural, and mechanical design. We currently have the funds for this design in the construction budget for money not expended for planning the technology infrastructure. The estimated cost for the construction of the platform stage is $880,000. Currently, what's included in the base bid is a movable stage, which will allow up to 250 folding chairs. It is much like choir risers, which you have to set up and take down each evening. The movable stage will not be able to be used during the school day because of the setup and the tear down time it takes. So that is one of the reasons why we're asking to include a second alternate, which will allow, we can refer to that as a platform stage or as a cafetorium. It will allow up to 342 chairs. It's about a third the size of the modified auditorium that is already included as the alternate one. It also will have some theater lighting, but not as much as the modified or the flat floor auditorium. If we do choose to include this at alternate 2, it will delay sending out the bids from January until the middle of March or April. It takes about 60 days to design this. However, that still gives us plenty of time to finish the school by June 2017, and move-in would be July 2017. So we'd have the whole month of July and part of August in order to be able to get the school set up for occupation starting the middle of August for students. Any questions or thoughts? I've included in the attachments, the last page shows the modified schedule.
I believe that it's always to our advantage to have as many options as we can, not knowing, of course, how the construction bids will come in. It gives us an option if the modified auditorium comes in extremely high, it gives you a backup and to consider it as well. I think, of course, school board members can speak to this too, that we're at the building committee meeting. I think the Board of Supervisors members that are part of the building committee, and that's Mr. Fox and Mr. Trasick, were very amenable to adding this second alternate, and because I think they had some concerns that the first alternate was maybe more than we needed, although that is what they had approved for us to put in as an add alternate. I believe that the Board of Supervisors, all of the Board of Supervisors would support, putting in this add alternate, and because we do have the $92,500 for the design, we don't have to ask the Board of Supervisors for any additional dollars to do that. We have saved, as Melody said, the money from what was allocated to us by the Board of Supervisors for design of this building to begin with. And the way we were able to do that is because Mrs. Shepard has designed the technology infrastructure, and we didn't pay her to do it, pay her any extra to do it, let's put it that way. I don't know if the two board members that were at the building committee meeting wanted to add anything to that before you.
You also addressed the fact that we let the community use our schools for many different functions, and this ad alternate would be much more appealing for some of their uses,
Yes.
as opposed to having the removable or the
Movable stage.
removable stage, yeah.
Right.
Which I see as a real hassle, having to set that up and tear it down every time you want to use it, and the possibility of injuries or the instability of the stage.
And it's wear and tear on the stage too. The
Sure.
more you open it and close it and dismantle it, just the general wear and tear creates some issues as well.
And this ad alternate, too, is like a 16-foot bump out from the building as opposed to, 48-foot?
Yes.
From the first alternate,
Yes.
which is going to be nice. And it's a stationary stage, it's raised, so the students or the performers are going to be up a little bit so the flat floor audience can still have good visual.
It's much like the stage that we currently have at Hilda Barber Elementary School, a little larger than that. So if you've been in their cafeteria, that would be a good example.
And it's also what most newer middle schools that I've seen have. I know that it's very similar to what Admiral Byrd Middle School in Frederick County has. That's the last newer middle school I've been in recently.
Yeah, I really was very pleased, Ms. Shepard, with your presentation because it completed the rounding out. There was something missing there when, if you moved ahead, you wouldn't have the information to consider all options. Now we will, because when the bids come back, we can certainly decide which one would be the best.
Absolutely.
But I was also pleased that the two representatives from Board of Supervisors seemed to understand even better than they had in the past of what we were proposing to do. Now I think we've got the waterfront covered now. We just wait for the money to come back in, which we never know how the bids are going to be, depending upon the economy and the environment.
Subject there. There are times when we need to pay bills before the next school board meeting, and then there are those months where you only meet once, and it does create problems. So Section 22.1-122 of the Code of Virginia, as well as your policy file, DK, provide for the drawing of what would be called special warrants prior to school board approval if the school board has, by resolution, authorized such a procedure. So each year we come to you at your annual organization meeting and ask you to do that. The circumstances that would require this may be such things as payment of utility bills, debt service payments. In those cases, there are penalties if debt service payments aren't paid on a prompt basis, and the utility bills, there's always the threat of the utilities being cut off. Insurance bill, contractor payments, credit card payments, and then there are certain circumstances where emergency parts and supplies must be paid for at the time of delivery. So in these cases, a delay in payment may incur either additional costs or could even affect the operation of our buildings, our schools, our vehicles and things. So we would ask you to go ahead and approve this. We always report on our clerk's report at the next meeting those bills, so it's not like they're being hidden from you. It's just with the superintendent's approval, they are being paid prior to your meeting, and we try to limit that, of course.
Any questions? Motion?
Madam Chairman, I move that the resolution authorizing payment of bills in emergency situations and in months with only one school board meeting be adopted as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Approval of resolution authorizing payment of compensation. Mr. Valentine.
Again, this is a very similar topic, and the subject sort of describes what we're asking you to do there. And quite honestly, if we didn't pay our people promptly, we'd get in a lot more trouble a lot quicker than not paying our vendors. I can assure you that. So this basically, by the same code and policy of the school board, allows us to pay for certain things, and these are all for positions and pay rates and contract amounts that you have already approved, so it's not like we're going to start paying someone without your approval or knowledge. But again, this is to allow us to run our twice-a-month payrolls, and in a lot of cases it is before you meet, but we do present that information for your approval at the meeting. So we would ask your approval of that resolution also.
Is there a motion?
I move that the resolution authorizing payment of compensation be adopted as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Valentine. Presentations by superintendent. Acceptance of donations.
A donation of school supplies from Walmart has been received by Hill J. Barber Elementary School, and a donation from Cayenne Mumford of a 2002 Buick to the Automotive Technology Program at Blue Ridge Technical Center has also been received, and we ask that you accept these donations.
Is there a motion?
My turn. I would move that the donations from Walmart and Cayenne Mumford be accepted with gratitude.
Second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Discussions by school board. Approval of 2015 school board meeting calendar.
As you are aware, policy BCA requires the time, place, and dates of regular school board meetings to be set at the annual organizational meeting. According to policy KD-E, which is the meeting list, meetings of the Warren County School Board are to be held on the second Thursday of each month beginning at 7 p.m. and the fourth Thursday of each month beginning at 6 p.m., except during July, August, and December, when meetings are scheduled only for the second Thursday of the month. The attached proposed schedule follows the policy and with the following exceptions. The meeting formally scheduled for November 26, 2015, Thanksgiving Day, has been moved to Tuesday, November 24th, and the second meeting of the month is proposed to begin at 5 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. We'll be glad to answer any questions if you have them. You did have a discussion at a prior work session about moving the second meeting to a 5 o'clock start time. And we have, Mr. Valentine has incorporated that into the schedule.
There is also one additional meeting beyond those that are spelled out in the policy. You might note and put on your calendars Tuesday, February the 17th at 5:30 p.m. the Board of Supervisors has requested that you meet with them to have the annual budget work session with them. So that is on the list, but you may want to make note of that and put that on your calendars.
I had that we
I've
have a
already done
closed
it.
session at 4 o'clock that same day.
Oh, do you? You do?
That we were meeting at 4 o'clock for a school board closed meeting anyway that day.
I did not have that on the calendar, but I'll add it.
So we'd have that at 4 and have this at 5:30? Unless I'm,
Was that for
Missed
the
it.
budget?
I don't know if it was a follow-up on the
Oh,
superintendent
okay,
search. or-
okay.
I was thinking it was for the superintendent search.
I think it
but maybe
is.
Transfer that over.
February, wasn't that possibly for interviews?
February the 17th.
Or was it
I don't think we would have just put out an hour for interviews.
Yeah.
That was the deadline for the applications, I believe.
16th is the deadline, I think.
So we were
Okay.
going to follow up from that.
Meeting on the 17th, I think.
Yeah.
That'd be fine. Now, is that, that's a Tuesday, so it doesn't run on into our
Yeah, I
meeting.
got it,
It's
too.
before their meeting, isn't it?
Right, right,
Yeah,
it's
we could just
before
go
the
from one
joint meeting.
right into the
Yeah,
next.
it didn't say why, but it's school board government
It's
center.
on
Okay,
Tuesday.
on
4
at
o'clock.
7.
It's probably the search,
Okay.
yeah.
Has to be the closed session.
Is there a motion for the school calendar?
Madam Chairman, I move that the proposed 2015 school board meeting calendar be approved as presented.
Second.
All those in favor, aye? Aye. Motion carries. March 3rd, 2015, VSBA Superintendent Evaluation Workshop.
You need, actually, there was an item before that, adopting the VSBA code of
Oh,
conduct.
sorry. Backtrack a little bit. Adopt VSBA Code of Conduct for school board members.
Usually on an annual basis, or when school board members change on any given board, the school board has developed the Virginia School Boards Association Code of Conduct for school board members, and it's a code of conduct in how you conduct meetings and how you act as a board. And because we do have a new school board member, we're asking that you consider readopting this code of conduct. You've done this many times before.
Okay. Is there someone who would like to, do we have to have a motion on that, or?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I would move that the VSBA Code of Conduct for school board members be adopted as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
It's on the website. Does anybody know? But
Pardon me?
is this on the website?
I don't know the answer to that. Can be. Is this on the website? The code of conduct? Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Could we
We can certainly
put it there?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Okay, good idea.
Show how we
Don't we have to sign it?
Somebody got a master that we can sign.
You have the original for us to sign? Okay, it's not the one that we haven't, no, that's okay.
It's got to come.
Also, just on the file KDE that was attached to the previous school board calendar, is that going to
There are a
be
couple
updated?
updates. Now that you've changed the time of the second meeting, that'll get updated, and certainly we need to have our newest member's name there, and as opposed to the name of the member you just honored tonight as
Okay.
the Shenandoah District Representative. So.
All right, thank you. March 3rd, 2015, VSBA Superintendent Evaluation Workshop.
It's just,
Anyone
just
planning on
information.
attending?
That's the one that Mr. Wells and Ms. Sharefko attended
Correct.
before.
Yeah.
So if anyone is interested, let Mr. Valentine know. January 22nd, 2015 work session agenda, which will be our 2016 budget. Is there any further business? No?